Total War Warhammer 3 is here, which means in a couple of months we will have the Immortal Empires map. So it's time to speculate how my boys the High Elves are going to fare, and it's going to currently be good. Too good. It's time to discuss 5 nerfs that they should receive. Welcome to Elven Plot Armor, and this is the top 5 High Elf nerfs for Immortal Empires. As a High Elf main, I can tell you right now, the Warhammer 3 races have definitely been brought more in line with Warhammer 1's races, which means Warhammer 2's need to be reined back in and brought back to earth a little bit. It's no secret the High Elves and Dark Elves are both very overpowered in terms of their economy and the affordability of their military. So today I'm not just going to run through 5 nerfs that they should receive, but also how these overpowered areas can be reworked into mechanics that we as the player can make decisions about. So starting off with number 1, Entrepreneurs. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Entrepreneurs are ridiculously overpowered, no one asks for them, and they are not needed. All this special rule does is take an economy that's already top tier and shoots it to the stratosphere, so they won't be missing this one too badly. Trust me, it'll be okay. And plus, it means you have more Sun Dragon mages flying around, which is awesome. While we're talking about this as well, I think there should be a cap in each province to how much something can be boosted. May it be growth, income, corruption reduction, because typically stacking these things is what leads to these broken combos. There is no thought required in making the front of Lothern look like a homeless shelter with 45 entrepreneurs sitting out the front. Again, this is all to encourage better role-playing and dynamic decision making. Number 2, disbanded lords that work for free. This makes no sense to me, the fact that you disband a lord and stop paying them, yet they fulfill their administrative duties whilst not on the payroll. It makes no sense, and it's been in the game at least since Rome 2. Now, I think legendary lords should have these perks and they should apply even when disbanded. However, non-legendary lords, rather than have these rules taken away, just have them reworked so they're only effective while they are on the campaign map. Faction-wide buffs like trade, give those to heroes, because once you disband the hero, you lose the trait. Easy as that. You're not getting anything for free. And don't worry, the High Elves aren't the only offenders, and this should also apply to the other factions as well. Looking at you, Dark Elves. The way you abuse this is by simply hiring a Lord level 10 and just using the various dedications which give global buffs to your economy. Every turn, simply go around every province, hire a level 10 Lord, put 1 point in this skill, and then disband the Lord, and you have an administrator bolstering your economy for no cost to you. It's overpowered, broken, and again, the High Elves don't need it. But hold on, the reason why I'm saying this is that I want a new mechanic put instead. I want a high nobility mechanic put into Ulthuan. Every one of the capital cities, meaning Avelorn, Safari, when you hold these for 10 turns, you've earned enough influence to position your own high noble there. Similar to the way Adamans work in Kislev, you can now slot in a non-legendary lord, and anything that's equipped to them can be equipped to the campaign map and will give bonuses there. Not only that, I would also like the governor role being filled to also give your empire some extra global buffs. For example, Caledor, give us a buff to dragons. Safari, maybe 1 winds of magic reduction to all high mages. Lothern, more trade. Something like that, but now we've taken a broken mechanic that we don't even have to think about and replace it with something that we, as the player, can use as a role-playing and decision-making tool. Way better in my opinion. Next one might be divisive, but the more you think about it, the more it's probably necessary. The basic archer in the High Elf army is one of the best standard units in the game, and I'm biased, so I'll probably say it is the best. However, relative to the economy it comes from, it is very undercosted, and it blows my mind how spearmen are worth so much more. They could probably survive a price hike, even making them as expensive as spearmen, which will also stop you from spamming them much later. There's no point getting cavalry or chariots when this unit is so effective. There's also the other issue is that archers are very useful in settlement battles. These minor settlement battles are going to be very, very conducive to archer-based play, and having the longest range archers in the game is going to be incredibly good. Archers need a price rise in Total Warhammer 3 just because they're even more useful than they were in Warhammer 2, and they were really damn useful, both in field battles and in siege situations. So just that 180 range is going to be overpowered. I'm telling you right now, it's going to make every campaign a cakewalk. And that brings me to point number 4. The almighty goddesses themselves, Sisters of Avelorn. They will need some form of nerf. Now, I don't want their range nerfing. I'm pretty happy with that. They deserve that range. That's their thing, right? I don't want that touch, but they do need a damage reduction and less pushback on those arrows. Also, probably a price increase. They're going to be such a useful unit. There is going to be no reason not to sister stack. If this is all to try and make decisions that don't revolve around doom stacking and spamming units. And if you make the Sisters of Avelorn such an obvious choice, it's going to get spammed to high heaven. You could probably double the price and people would still bring a small handful of them, but is that such a bad thing? Not having 90% of your army be this elite unit. So either a nerf to their missile effectiveness and damage, a nerf to their price, or a combination between the two. Number 5, nerfing Steel Influence. Now, I'm actually quite happy with the way this works, and Influence is the most underrated ability in the entire game. Some people really don't like how Influence works, and I just can't get that because it affects diplomacy. Isn't that what Influence does? It helps you High Elves of prestigious rank and helps with diplomacy. I've seen several people complain about Influence. Influence is awesome. Influence is the most underrated and overpowered ability to the point where I think you need to have some form of cap on how much influence you can actually use, because you can make people that are at war with you like you in the span of about 3 turns. It is ludicrous because you can get so much influence so easily. I love influence, leave it the way it is. However, you should be limited in where you can get it from. No gates and no settlements that aren't tier 1. Firstly, it doesn't really make sense having people of influence living in a beat up gate. And of course, this would remove the exploit of leaving a faction with only 1 gate and being able to farm them indefinitely for influence. Combine this with having the occasional settlement that won't be suitable to acquire influence from, and you'll have less influence, but trust me, you will still have enough. I can guarantee you, you're not going to be short of influence. People act like you run out, you'll be fine, trust me. Last one, I've got one extra for you. This is like an honorable mention. I want to see more around trade. I want to see benefits for holding lots of ports. I want to see a benefit from having a trade agreement with a Khemri faction. Another one across the ocean with a Dwarven faction. Another one with Lizardmen. Have a cultural melting pot of trade partners, which as that grows and diversifies, will increase your income. So not just the resources, but the partners themselves. Lothlorien itself is a huge multiracial trading port, and we should have mechanics that reflect that. Given that I'm requesting some economic nerfs, I'm also asking for some buffs, but ones that require us as the player to make active decisions instead of just dropping entrepreneurs on the lawn and having a bit of role-playing flavor added to the mix. And that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. This is Avelorn Plot Armor. If you're interested in joining our Discord community, details below. I've covered all of the High Elf Lords with ratings, as well as strong start walkthroughs, so please feel free to check it out. And if you have found this entertaining, give us a like and a sub. If you'd like to see one of these, the Dark Elves, just comment below. And this is Avelorn Plot Armor, and I will see you next time. Cheers.